Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Today we have Blemish. How are you doing, guys?
Hello, how are
Awesome.
you?
Okay, cool. Everybody's name is on the screen, so I'm gonna forego uh intros for a second. And then let's just start talking about your recent split with Bestial Tongues. We had them on recently, really cool guys, and I love their stuff. You guys had fucking killer side to that. It was a tape, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess just talk about how that all came about and your relationship with Bestial Tongues.
I used to be in a band with their drummer Connor years
Okay.
ago. Yeah, that was a few years ago. So I've known Connor since then. Connor now, obviously in BCL, also in a great band called Phantom right now, who just dropped a really good demo. That's more like hardcore adjacent stuff. And but how our split came about, to be honest, like don't know. I probably Nick or someone.
Both of our
So,
names start with the letter B.
do you remember Angley? You want to say?
Both of our bands start with the letter B.
Well,
Okay.
that was
It
a
was sick.
plus.
That's it. You were just like that's the common bond there.
Well, I think what happened was we had dropped our demo, and then a few months later, I believe they dropped Deconsecrated, right? That was like their debut, I think. And then Alex from BC Tongues hit me up and says, "Okay, we'll get working on that split soon." So I'm like, "Oh shit, guys, we got to write more songs for this split." And we ended up doing, I think we did six, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, we
I
did
have
like six
seven that
songs.
written down, but who's
Oh,
counting?
oh yeah, because Blast Olympics is put into two parts. Yeah, so
Mhm.
seven.
I mean,
Yeah.
because they're kind of short songs. Do you find that that's just sort of easier to pump them out, or
Um, I mean, I don't know about. I don't know if it's easier per se. I just think like short songs can be really good. Like I like some of that stuff on the split is a little reminiscent of bands of shorter songs that I personally think are badass as hell. I mean, like agoraphobic nosebleed comes to mind.
I
Masters of like 10-second songs. I personally would always push for shorter. I can always push for like a song that's like 10 seconds long, 12 seconds long. I think those songs are fun as hell sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I just think for writing shorter songs, it comes naturally for us that we can just pack a bunch of shit in, and then it's like, you don't really need to expand too much. I don't think. It's funny. Nick and I wrote this past weekend, and when there were moments where it was like, let's ride this beat a little bit, I said, the way I think of this is like riding the beat. Sometimes it's hokey as shit. I think it's hokey. I think it's lame. I really don't think we need to hear like a. I don't think we really need to hear another 30 seconds of a like a ride like. Fucking who cares? Don't do that. Just end it.
um
And if you like that part, just play the song again.
just play the song again. I know I've
Exactly.
always said I'd rather listen to like a 2 minute song twice than a 4 minute song once. Like like if I like a song, I'll play it 3 and 4 times in a row if I really dig it. That's not uncommon for me to do, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in that.
That
No,
happened to
no, no.
me.
Yeah, I love that.
One of the big notes I have is just because you guys only have one guitarist, no bassist, but the guitar sound, especially on the demo, is so thick. Like I know I'm hearing at least two guitars in there, but what else am I hearing when I listen to that demo? Like,
In
am I
terms of the
listening to three
demo,
guitar tracks, four? What are you guys doing for your recording?
in terms of recording the demo, at least, it was all a lot of DI recording actually. Uh, it was really just multi-tracking and experimenting with different like pedal chains.
Okay.
Yeah, just having
Yeah.
different effects on the different for different takes.
Do you guys
I
tune
have
down?
a little too many dirt pedals, you could call it.
Do you guys tune down?
Yeah,
It
top
sounds
G
good.
sharp.
And what are your favorite pedals? I'm sure somebody wants to know that.
Uh, as it just so happens, I have all of my gear surrounding me.
Best pedal ever. Best pedal ever.
Okay. The
Is
boss
on zero
overdrive.
of our recordings.
I second the bass overdrive. That's a great pedal.
But
Rats
this
are
is the
great pedals too.
guitar. Hear the guitar sounds.
These are what I used on the demo. This is a Electro Foods Eye of Ra. It's a Model T preamp pedal, but it sounds incredible with everything just cranked up gain wise.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got two of them. Okay.
I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
borrowing this from a buddy, but I agree they sound really great.
And this is just an HM2 clone, more of a clean boost than an actual dirt pedal, but it really adds a lot of volume and girth where it needs it.
Wait, Ken, do you play?
I play guitar, but a lot of the gear that I have now is mostly just for like electronic and like noise music stuff
Okay.
that I do, which you can hear on the Blemish recordings. I do a lot of that under solo projects, but I play guitar. I mean, I write songs for the band, and I am slowly kind of figuring out a rig again to just have to, because I like strumming the guitar still. But a lot of what I have is for like, it's mostly in the line of like electronics, synths, tape players, that kind of stuff.
You've written for the stuff, but you haven't. Have you played on any of the recordings?
Like guitar?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
you had
think
to
the
think about
closest,
that for a while.
no, because like, well, on the new record, there are like weird off kilter things on the record, which I guess I can say we will have a new record out in 2023
Oh, cool.
that we just finished recording it at Developing Nations in Baltimore. So that I can say will be out in 2023. And I mean, we did weird things. I mean, like, I do remember I played a kid's piano on a track. There is that. There is the sound of me gargling water. So I had to like kind of had to go through all the checklists just to make sure like I throw in, because Kevin, who runs Developing Nation, makes these beautiful aluminum guitars, and I had to be like, did I actually play any of those on a record? But no, I just write.
Don't forget
You
the
good?
vibra
Are
slap, Ken.
you doing the new one with Frozen Screams or a different label?
We're gonna go with Frozen Screams for this one, for at least a tape release for that.
Okay.
We did send it out to some labels. The fact of the matter is just that pressing plants and all that stuff backs things up. People have tight as hell schedules because, believe it or not, when you run a kick-ass label, a lot of people are going to submit shit to you. So John, I just think, is enthusiastic as hell and understands what we want as a band, and I was like, I mean, I think all of us are comfortable working with him again, and then whatever happens after that, we will see. But that first run of tapes will be on Frozen Screams, and it'll be good.
Cool. Yeah, we've had Bestial Tongues and Weeping on, and they've both had really good things to say about that guy and what he's doing over there.
Nothing but good to say. Yeah, nothing.
Ken, I got a note that you did the artwork on stuff, and it's a little bit of like collage work and things on the artwork.
Yeah, I did. It's funny you mentioned that. I just before this finished up another collage that I was working on. Just a quick, it's not really used for it's not going to be really used for anything. I don't know, but I just finished this up. Yeah, I did do the collage. I would pull out the album art stuff, but for both the art so far, for the split and the demo. Nick has the demo art, Alex has the split art, so I can't really pull that stuff out. They have the originals. But yeah, and I do the art, the collaging for that stuff.
Before we got started, we were talking about some of the bands you play with. I've had some of them on this show, and Bandit comes to mind because in talking to Gene, I've unfortunately never seen them play, but I gotta talk and ask you guys about their set because he seems like he gets a little nutty.
Yeah.
Their set that night of Vitus was pretty tame in comparison to the other ones I've seen.
Okay.
I saw them at this venue in House of Independence. I think they opened for Pig Destroyer.
Oh
And
shit.
Gene
Yeah.
was in his underwear in the crowd, and people were like crowding around him, and then he just projectile vomited all over the floor.
Okay.
You know,
So-
it's
That's
funny.
you're never gonna forget that.
No,
No, you're not
It's-
going to forget when people start standing in the vomit either. That was nasty.
it's really funny. The last time I ran into Gene was down here in Philly where I am now. And you know, that dude probably has a million fucking stories to tell, but he came up to me, I think it was a Dead Guy show, and he was like, because I had said at the show that we played that Gene was at, that after the show we were all gonna go to Dave and Buster's. And Gene was like, did you guys go? Like he that's all he wanted to know. It wasn't like, oh, what's up, how you been? He was like, did you go to Dave and Buster's? And I pulled up the picture of like me holding the coffee cup that I got. I'm like, fuck yeah, we did. Like, I don't lie. I don't lie to my fans.
Alex, maybe talk about some of your influences. I mean, I obviously hear a lot of the Mortician and I know we like people are calling it like caveman riffs and that type of stuff, but what are the influences you guys got going on?
In terms of heavy music, honestly, I listen to a lot of screamo. Kind of goes to reinforce the short song stuff, but I feel very inspired by bands like Jerome's Dream in the way that they didn't really give themselves more than like 7 or 8 minutes for a set normally, in the way that you don't really need more than that to get a point across.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of screamo, emo violence bands, Jerome's Dream, Usurp Synapse come to mind. And a lot of like metalcore stuff too. Bands like From the Second Story Window, rhythmically, I find really cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head. I'm not like I don't know a ton of screamo stuff, but it's fun. That's not what I was expecting from you guys, but
There, there's definitely other.
other
No,
stuff.
like, yeah. There's. I mean, I think everyone. Like, I think this is a band that everyone writes songs in,
Okay.
and I think we all approach things differently. I mean, I know I was gonna say recently a personal achievement of mine was getting Alex into finally listening to the Melvins.
Okay.
Who Buzz is like, that's my like, to me, him and Robert Fripp is like, that's how I approach songwriting more. And you know, I was really happy. I got a message from Alex on Facebook being like, it just doesn't seem like Buzz writes bad songs. And I was like, well, yeah, pretty much. And so, you know, I think like that kind of stuff has things in common with even like screamo, in the sense that there's a lot of like, you listen to some of that early like Melvin shit, or even like newer stuff too. Like, there's some really, he has like a very weird off kilter strumming pattern that I've always found like, you know, to me, I'm like, well, that kind of, it feels normal to play because you get into this like really jagged groove. So I think it complements well with the screamo stuff, and the metalcore stuff that Alex can throw in is just really some jagged fucking rhythms.
your new album, is that going to be a full length? I mean, I expect it's not going to be super long, right? But is it's not going to be a split or an EP though?
15 minutes, the grindcore full length.
I guess that tracks, right?
And the longest song is a cover.
Uh-oh. Can you say what you're covering?
Yeah. We're I mean, everyone who's gonna watch is gonna be like, what the hell? Maybe some people will be like, fuck yeah. But we're covering a song called Kill I Just Kill by Slogan.
Okay. I don't know that one. Every time I say I don't know something, I always get comments in the description. Not in the description, but like, how the fuck do you not know that? But I don't know that one. What's the background there?
Slogan is like 90s true crime power electronics
Okay.
from New York City, which is just like, you know, confrontational, like brutal lyrics, just like straight direct to your face. Very like minimal synth work going on. But it's all like hella distorted synth, in your face, distorted vocals. Some of the stories I've heard of that guy performing were just, you know, legendary, just with how confrontational and angry he would get. And, you know, during our song off our demo called Corrupted Body Chemistry, which was a song about killing in of itself, you know, I just started thinking increasingly about that Slogan song, because I think to people who like noise and power electronics, I feel like that song is like hella iconic. And I would, you know, I just think I finally got the nerve to be like, can we do like a full cover of this song? I can figure out how to do kind of replicate the electronics from the original, and I think we did. I think it was a fine enough product and how it turned out. So
Cool. When I was researching your band and stuff, I didn't find a ton of stuff. I did find one article. God, what was the name of that thing? Exhale the Ash or something. You did an interview with that. I'll put a link in there. But it's funny because you had mentioned the art of Justin Lake.
Justin Lake, yeah.
So I didn't really know who he was. So I checked it out on the web, and I ended up in some weird dark rabbit hole of just bizarre shit, which, you know, was kind of interesting just because I always like weird dark rabbit holes and discovering new crap. I mean, I wasn't sure what to make of half of it, honestly, but it was certainly out there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, big ups to Justin and New York noise heads. Thousands of Dead Gods. Before forming Blemish, I didn't do bands for many years because I just felt kind of disillusioned by it. So I was doing a lot more venturing into noise and stuff like that. And Justin has a great project called Shredded Nerve, which I've always found was an emotionally powerful project. And his collage work that he did and still does to this day, I found to be just like highly influential on like how I approach doing my own visual art. And I mean, just on top of that, you know, what he's doing with like tape looping is phenomenal. I'm pretty lucky to have one of his own like kind of tape loops that he had made once for myself, and I got to use. I've gotten to use that before on like other recordings, but I mean that could always make its way into a Blemish recording, because a lot of like how the electronics work in the band is they kind of formulate from like my own at home jams sometimes, and then I'll save them, and either we'll just throw them on, or I'll come up with an idea and I'll be like, hey guys, like we should use this later on. And yeah.
So is that a guy you know personally, or you're just, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. I went up to their record shop no, 2 weekends ago. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. Been lucky to know that crew for a couple of years now.
And you'll probably need to send them after. You know, with my interviews and stuff, I always put links to, you know, the stuff we talk about and the stuff that everybody's been doing outside of the band. I put that stuff all in the description. So,
Yeah.
you know, definitely send me the links and I'll put them in the description. But what other, you know, obviously Blemish can't be the first thing that you know, you said that you had done other stuff, but Nick and Alex, I'm assuming you've done other projects that I might not know about.
Yeah, I'm currently in a noise rock band called Hysteria. We just dropped a record called Figure One. It's a little EP. It's really cool if you like noise rock and like Sonic Youth type of stuff. Um, Kenny and I also do noise on the side in this group called Screw Aside. We only have one tape.
Screw aside, okay.
And I plan on doing a gore noise under the name Human Acid Stew.
Human acid stew, okay,
Yeah,
but that's not out yet.
no.
I play in a couple of other bands. A screamo band called Rapture is Dead. A little more traditional with the screamo, emo violence stuff. A noisecore band called Kissies, which is very loose on the noisecore part, more of a heavy post-hardcore band. Not
Okay.
really sure where to place that one. But both are working on some recordings, and I'm excited for that to eventually come to fruition.
Say the name again.
Rapture is Dead
No, the other
and
one.
Kisses.
Kissies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I do a noise project sometimes with Kenny called Wolf Hill. And that's about it for recorded material. But
Is
I've
that
done the
stuff?
most.
That stuff's on Bandcamp.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Wolf Hill.
I do like the Blemish stuff is name your own price. So you know, if you're watching and you haven't downloaded the stuff yet, there's like absolutely zero excuse not to have done that. You know, and but definitely leave some money. Don't be like a cheapskate.
Yeah. For my own, like I said before, I was in a band per se for before Blemish for years. Most of the two bands I had before then were they were like high school, early college. One was a hardcore band called The Uncommonly Good, in which I played guitar and did some vocals. And then I was in a noise rock band, kind of like if you kind of like stuff from like Amphetamine Reptile Records, like that kind of shit. I was in a band called Altered Cross, in which I did like it was like very much like AMRAP, Butthole Surfers, that kind of thing. And I still like that kind of thing. And then, yeah, I've been doing noise under a variety of projects for like 5, going on 6 years now.
Okay.
Just currently working solo under the name Dead Door Unit. And a lot of it, I mean, like some of it's on Bandcamp, not too much because I've done like a couple releases that it's just like weird ass packaging. I gotta see if I can find one. Like I can do tapes. Like this is a tape I made, like, you know, housed in chicken wire, that kind of thing. I don't really, you know, it's not like, I'm not like, oh yeah, and like, you can just download my music. I'm like, no, I like to create a physical product more. So I do like that. I don't know. I don't know how these two do it. I'm like personally it's very hard for me to do non-noise bands outside of one thing because when it comes to like a group effort, like in a band, I just put into my like 100%. I like to just give it to my all. So Blemish really is the main kind of band thing, and like electronics and noise stuff can be on the side and exist in its own little universe.
Who else have you guys played with? I mean, we got a few. We talked about a few other bands, but like who? And is there any? You know, I see that you played a lot of shows around New Jersey, New York, and stuff. Vitus. How far out have you gotten with playing shows, either up or down or out west?
On 420 this year, we went out to Pittsburgh to play with Deterioration, Moiscus, and Truffman. Really cool shit if you like that. If you like really fast grindcore and aggressive stuff. We went to North Carolina too.
Yeah.
What was that? About a month ago now, or a few weeks ago?
No, it was about close to a month ago. And yeah, and like the touring front, I think the plan is to play more and play out more in 2023. I mean, funny you mentioned New York. I feel like we have not played New York like a lot, like as much as I had thought. I mean, like in terms of other bands that I guess we played with that I guess are like going right now in metal. I mean, like we played with like Brat recently. They were pretty nice.
Miasmatic Necrosis too. We got to
Those
play with
dude,
them at St. Vitus. They are awesome.
that was like the one time we actually played with like a very noteworthy band, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, I am fucking nervous right now." I like went up to Nick and I'm like, "Dude, that's Paolo." Like from Miasmatic, I'm like, and if he ever hears this, I hope he finds it funny. But I was like, "Dude, that's fucking Paolo from Miasmatic. I can't introduce myself. Like I'm afraid to introduce myself. Like I fucking love that. I fucking love that Apex Profane record." So
I
that
was
was
like that when we played with 200 Stab Wounds in Newark. I was a nervous wreck the entire day.
oh yeah, that did happen. Yes, like we played with like that. Like we played with Noel.
Mm-hmm.
We have other shows coming up.
I've never met Noel. I've met the guy from 200 Stab Wounds. He's super nice. And Pablo, I met at St. Vitus one day. He was also super cool, and a mutual friend. So that was kind of interesting. You know,
Yeah.
he's a nice guy. I'm trying to think of where else we're going with this. Mind, you did a little video for Mind Decay, and some looked like maybe a basement show in New Brunswick.
Yeah, we've done a
Yeah.
few videos with Mind Decay. He's like one of our earliest supporters. Tage and us have a really strong relationship.
Yeah, that's one of those dudes who like I remember when like the demo like first dropped, there were two people who hit us up, and mind you, for just like a little bit of context, um where I was coming from, like coming fresh off of just doing noise stuff, I had like when I see like a Bandcamp message from where I'm coming from with like the noise and all that shit, I'm like, scam, move on. Like, fuck that, move on. So the first two people who messaged us ever off of Bandcamp from the demo were Johnny Freeze from Frozen Screams.
Okay.
You know, label emails you, fucking scam, gotta move on. Like, but you know, eventually we see how that worked out. But the second dude was Tage, who asked if like he could do a visualizer for the demo. So I was like, it was like jarring to kind of meet him at first, because you know, like I thought, I was like, okay, this dude doing this, like then he wants us to play a show, and then I'm like, wait, you're like a teenager doing all this? Like you are psychotic, man. And like he has a really good gore grind or like noisecore project too that like I don't think he's ever promoted. It's in my YouTube likes. I know it exists. That shit is fucking cool as hell. So if Tage watches this, you got to get back up on the mic or whatever you're doing in that that project. That shit is dope as hell. But like, yeah, again, he's a dude who's been like day one supporter, big into us. I can't help but respect the hell out of that grind. You know, and when you meet someone who genuinely loves what they're doing and loves the actual art that they're supporting, I can't help but show love. And that kid has like all my love and respect. There's no pretension there.
Yeah, I kind of know. I'm into a lot of the same stuff as him. You know, so usually when I see something that's on his channel, I more often than not I'm into it. You know, and
Yeah.
he's actually in. You know, I learned of a lot of bands through his stuff. So I was.
Oh, but I'm sorry, I forgot to. We got whole sidetracked on that shit. You asked about that basement show. That
Oh yeah.
yeah. Sorry. We love. I think all of us played. I think all of us cut a lot of our teeth and still are in basements. And New Brunswick has great basements who we won't give names or addresses to because that's whack as hell. So I think that like that show I think was like with God is War, Many Blessings, Maltreatment, and Come Mierda, which, you know, the three guys in the middle, that's like the tour package from like, I think they all kind of have like that Vermin Wound connection going.
Okay.
But yeah, that show was cool as hell because it was like a great like grind band at the beginning, three noise acts in the middle, grind band at the end, and people just popped the fuck off in a way that I have not seen New Brunswick pop off since I was like early college. And it feels really fucking awesome to know that like Blemish can go to New Brunswick. And I have confidence to say when we play New Brunswick, it's just going to be a banger. We have friends out there who are going to show up and get a mosh going. And I love that because, like, yeah, I can look through that video again, the one that you're talking about, and I can be like, that's my fucking dude right there moshing. I know them. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah, I don't know that the sound on that video does you justice. You know, I think the sound of your demos is way far superior. But when you watch that New Brunswick video, that's a good time. I mean, that's a fucking that's a good show.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't want to like. Well, I mean, like, if I mean, I think like it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't matter about the sound. I mean, the
Well,
sound of
first
that
off, let me just to say it's the recording. I'm sure it sounded.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
that wasn't board audio. I know what you're saying there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think for me, like, I'm glad that you picked up, even despite it just being like camera audio. It's a good time because like I just think I just hope with Blemish like people are able to see that like we want people to have fun. When I personally tell people on stage to like move around or whatever, it doesn't come out of a place of being like, oh, fuck you for not liking my band. It comes from a place of being like, we're not trying to be a boring ass band that just stands around awkward as shit, like just being like yeah, like now we wait until the vocals come back, and then I raise my hand and I lead the masses, like not trying to do that shit because like bands that I grew up loving and like listening to, like, you know, Dillinger Escape Plan and Jesus Lizard and like stuff like that. If I was just standing around like a fucking idiot, I would just feel like I let not my band my band or the audience down. I'd probably also feel like I let David Yao down to a certain degree. I'd be very fucking upset with myself for that.
there we go.
Chris, if you want, you can come to the next show if you're around.
I can come to the next show. Where is the next show?
Oh, that's at the Meat Locker with moisturizer, right, guys?
Yeah, that should be the next one in January.
Okay, January's a good time for me. Yeah,
I know.
Jersey's easy for me. New York, not as much. Um,
Grind on a Friday night. What more do you need?
Yeah, man.
Friday nights sometimes tough for me because my son plays hockey on Friday nights.
Bring
But
him
all
too.
right.
oh, I do. I want to bring him to shows. Although we did have a talk about. Was talking. It might have been Zach about the Meat Locker. Maybe it
Don't
was
worry,
somebody else.
there will be more shows that will not be during hockey season. That'll be more kid friendly. That you'll be able to that you and your son will be able to go to. We'll cross paths and meet
No,
one day.
yeah, no, I'll take my son to some shows. He definitely he's been to a couple, but not too much. But I definitely remember saying, "Oh, is the Meat Locker someplace I could take my kids to?" And it was like, no.
Yeah, unless you're depraved as hell. I've seen parents take their kids to the Meat Locker.
Okay.
I wouldn't call. I mean, wild ass move, but okay.
I was just talking recently about how my parents never took me to a show, but they would definitely drop me off at places that I would never take my kids to. And how like surprised but yet grateful I am that at 14 they were like, yeah, you want to just go to the show in Trenton that's in like some dilapidated building, that's cool. And they
What place was that?
I think at the time I was talking about City Gardens.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right. My dad was going to that place a lot, and
I feel like
which
that's some type of back.
when my no. My dad talks about like the best shows at City Gardens, and
Okay.
like I mean, I was gonna even just counteract with your point. Like, I don't know about Alex or Nick. I didn't get that. I didn't get that privilege of being able to be dropped off at shows. My mom was like, "Fuck no." Like, to my dad, she's like, "You're going with him to these shows."
Okay, but that's
And
not so bad. I mean, if your
I
dad
mean,
went to City Gardens, then he must have some appreciation for that type of stuff. Oh, no.
not so much. My dad is like a New Order, Depeche Mode fan. He
Okay.
was able to get down with some stuff we went to, but like, I always joke with him. Like, I think we saw Dillinger Escape Plan 10 times together. That is not his music at all. I think by the end, I don't think he'll say he loves Dillinger. I think he developed Stockholm syndrome to Dillinger Escape Plan. So yeah.
Well, I have to give your dad props though, because my dad was not like. I remember him like looking at the Slayer posters in my room and just being like, I don't understand what this is at all, and I'm not really sure that you're my son. But I mean, he accepted it, but he wasn't going to be going to City Gardens or any place, but he did drop us off. So
That's yeah.
a lot of props
Back
for that.
back in 2012, my mother and father, this was after Hurricane Sandy had happened. And this also ties into the Bestial Tongues interview I was watching where Alex said him and I met at a Cannibal Corpse show at the Stone Pony 10 years ago. That was my mother and father took me to see Cannibal Corpse. It must have been a hell of an experience for them because I was having a blast, but then like I got worried that they would want me to leave when George would say, "This is a song about blood shooting out of your cock. It's called I Come Blood." And I just was like, oh God, are my parents gonna drag me like by the ear or something? Because like my mom, like the heaviest thing she likes is like Lita Ford or
Okay.
maybe Guns N' Roses.
Okay. I'm definitely into much weirder shit than my kids are into, so that there's that. But
You never know, kids. That's how I got into shit. That's how I got into shit. I rummaged through my dad's record collection and found shit. Maybe one day your kid will be like, what is this? And then accidentally put on South of Heaven and be like, fuck. Why wasn't dad playing this shit in the car for me?
it's hysterical that you say South of Heaven because he's taking guitar lessons, and I was like, oh, what, and he's noodling around with all this stuff, and I was like, look, I was like, some of this I can hear the same song 50 times in a row. Sometimes I can't, and I'm like, just play South of Heaven, because that to me was like, if you're doing an acoustic guitar, that seems like something you should be playing when you're learning how to play guitar. So he can play South of Heaven, but I wouldn't say he's a Slayer fan. But I did give him that one.
It's like that South of Heaven is kind of like his that's like his show tune at holiday parties for when like they're like, oh, look what the boy can do, and then you roll him out and he like begrudgingly plays South of Heaven and everyone's like, yes, fuck yes, like so talented.
God,
I mean,
yeah, it's better than some of the other shit he was playing. Let's put it that way.
eh.
Nah, I the one thing I just said, I said no cock rock. That's where I just drew the line. But you know, the classic classic rock I was cool with. And of course there's a ton of grunge stuff. You know.
So wait, you're not going to let him play any of those Sweet Poison or Motley Crue
No,
riffs?
no, I'm
Oh
not.
my God.
I can't do it. Sorry. I know
That is
some
child
people.
abuse, man.
I know that's gateway music for a lot of people, but it's not for me. So I can't really listen to that stuff. But I am okay with grunge.
I'm really making headway on a theory that the best Motley Crue record is when they made a horrible attempt at grunge. Yeah, Generation Swine. That's the name of the record. I think that's their overlooked masterpiece.
I feel like this
terrible
interview is going
ass
south
record.
very quickly now.
Terrible ass record, man.
I love trash shit. I mean, I could talk about trash music, trash TV, and trash films. These guys know.
Yeah, Family Guy this, Family Guy that, blah blah blah.
Well, I'm not watching Family Guy lately. I think everyone know. I think you two know what my recent obsession has been.
Uh-oh. Do I want to hear this?
Yeah.
I'm almost done with all 6 seasons of George Lopez on Peacock.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Like,
I know who George Lopez is, but I don't know that I know the show that well.
Oh, I marathoned that shit. Was up till 4 a.m. with our buddy Rico on Friday night.
The one from the
watching.
song.
Oh yeah, the one from the song, the merch, the band.
He's our tour manager.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for your Family Guy, I'm Rick and Morty. That's the end all be all for me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've been watching that too. I don't know if I've been in like the new stuff. I don't know if I've been enjoying myself too much watching it. Just kind of I don't know what it is. I think things that like people tend to dislike. I guess it's contrarian. You call it contrarianism. I love just digesting that shit. Although Alex sometimes might beat me on that shit because some of the times on the road when they've been playing like the emo hits of the 2000s, I'm just like, fuck, just turn this off. Like,
wait, we have to talk about the 6-hour Eminem listen off now.
Oh, yeah, that is a.
You listen to Eminem for 6 hours?
Okay. On the drive, I'll let Kenny explain.
Yeah. I'm sorry for so much taking up the conversation, but I feel like because I think I read it from like Undeath on Twitter. They were like, "We're running through discographies. We just did Metallica. It's like, who should we do next?" And I thought, oh, that's a good idea. But like, let's do it with an artist who actually like might not even be that great to begin with. So I presented the idea and I said, and let's do Eminem. Because I was like, this is going to be funny as hell. We're going to get through his whole discography and we're going to be all like collectively hating it. And it's going to make us closer. We didn't even actually get to the post, like him out of rehab shit. what happened was we got through the Slim Shady LP and we were like, oh, this is all right. Then we started the Marshall Mathers LP, and I'm like, fuck, this is really long. And I turn around and Rico and Alex are knocked out in the back of the car while we're listening to the Eminem show. So I look over to Nick and I'm like, all right, you know what? Now, like, this isn't just like us going through a discography. This is now a contest. And the loser has to buy Rico dinner, which Rico can put down a lot of food. So we finally get to encore. And I just pretty much all but tuned out. Like, I tuned out the thought of I'm listening to Eminem right now. But I knew Nick was gonna break. So when we got to the song Big Weenie, when he starts doing the animal impression like that, Nick broke. He slammed the volume button on his car and said, "No more." Just like, no more. And it was amazing.
We were also 15 minutes away from, we were like 15 minutes away from where we were supposed to play, but I was just at my breaking point. I simply could not take it anymore.
Okay,
that was easily one of the
it.
worst songs ever.
There you go. So hopefully,
but then we became, but then actually, day after tour, I think Alex messaged us saying, I think it was Alex being like, not gonna lie, guys, been listening to Eminem since we got off tour, kind of Eminem pilled now. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to Eminem. So I put Eminem on my workout playlist, and now I'm just like, and Alex mocked up, and I hope we use it as we do stickers of it at some point, a brilliant design of him from like the Without Me music video when he looks like Robin. He mocked up a really great like Eminem sticker that says like Blemish and it has the backwards E. So yeah.
Okay. There you go. I wish I knew more Eminem. Like we could chat it up, but I
No, I mean it's probably for the better that you don't.
Okay. Anyway, we're like, if this is like the mother of all tangents, so why don't you just we'll wrap it up soon. Do you got any last thoughts, shout outs you didn't get to, anything else before we wrap it up?
Shout out to Rico. First and foremost, of course.
I mean, I think besides shout out to Rico, I think it should be I think it should just be mentioned that you know, like you said, the last thing we put out is our split with Bestial. Can I ask you when you think this interview will go up by?
2 days.
In 2 days. Okay. I won't say what, but anticipate an announcement for new Blemish material by the end of this year. We will have new material ready with the help of a wonderful man in Long Island who goes by the name Frozen Screams. It'll be cool. We got something very cool planned. We just submitted all the artwork and stuff for it today. So that'll be very dope. And just looking forward, we'll have new music, more shows. I can't wait to announce some of the shows we have. I can't say them on the record right now, but we got some good stuff planned for 2023, and we hope people dig it.
Okay, so that's not the album. That's something else that's going to come out before then.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Is it a split?
Nope.
No. Okay. Just something small soon.
We're willing to discuss it off the record, but on the record, it's just would rather leave it at let's keep it a little surprise.
Okay,
we keep things top secret.
No problem. I will when you do announce, I'll post it on our Facebook page and everybody.
Thank you.
Check it out. Okay.
Thank you, man.
Cool. That's it. Thanks a lot for joining, and I hope everybody had a good time hanging with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.